New restrictions on entry to the United States will soon come into effect. It's hoped the measures will slow the spread of Omicron, which has been detected in more than a dozen states.
Omicron is in the U.S., with cases of the coronavirus variant identified in at least 17 states.
And we're following them closely, and we are every day hearing about more and more probable cases, so that number is likely to rise.
Prompting U.S. officials to once again tighten air travel regulations. All inbound international travelers must test negative for COVID-19 within 1 day of departure for the U.S. starting Monday. The new order taking hold for all flights taking off after 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time. The new rule applies to all passengers 2 years or older, but there's no requirement for post-arrival testing or quarantine. The U.S. still restricting entry to travelers from South Africa and 7 other African nations. President Biden's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says the U.S. was in the dark about Omicron when that decision was made. Some South Africans say the travel ban is unfair.
We don't think it's fair because the way in which it's been imposed is quite uneven. And a lot of the responses in the last few days really just smacks of a very knee-jerk way of dealing with this pandemic. It goes against the solidarity that was promised to us at the beginning of this pandemic.
Fauci says the administration hopes to be able to lift the ban within a, quote, reasonable period of time.
I mean, we all feel very badly about the hardship that might have put upon not only South Africa, but the other African countries. And for that reason, in real time, literally on a daily basis, we're reevaluating the policy.
The number of cases of the Omicron variant confirmed in the UK has increased by more than 50%. Anyone arriving there will need to have taken a pre-departure test, which has already been criticised by the travel industry.
A new variant means new travel rules. These Eurostar passengers among the last to arrive in the UK without needing a pre-departure test.
If it's for the sake of people and to save people's life, we'll do it.
I think it's expensive. It's not difficult, but it's expensive.
I mean, I think it's important if we don't know anything about the variant so far, so I would be happy if we had to take the test.
If travellers were relaxed about testing, the battered travel industry is not.
We may have seen these kinds of tests before, but this is an industry having this landed on them on a Saturday evening, and it's the second time in a week that there's been major changes to travel introduced on a Saturday evening as well. This is an industry which lost roughly 90% of its income during the peak of the pandemic. So it's a sector that doesn't have a lot of money to fall back on when it then gets a knock like this.
The Justice Secretary defended the move despite a 50% increase in new Omicron cases in 24 hours, taking the total to 246 and suggesting it's already too late.
We are taking the measures, and we've seen that with travel, and I know some people will feel overburdened by that, to say, look, we are going to prevent the variants, Omicron and others coming in and what's called receding in the UK, because we've got to make sure that we bank the progress that we've made, go into Christmas, have a great Christmas, and go into the new year bouncing back.
Whatever ministers say, people will make their own minds up about what's safe, so public confidence in public health measures is crucial.
Britain has the most liberal COVID regime in Western Europe. The hope is that maintaining social freedoms will deliver some Christmas cheer as well as economic recovery. These shoppers might have to pop on a mask if they go in a store or on the tube, but the central message is trust the vaccines and carry on.
We'll only know if that's right when key questions about Omicron are answered, but its timing could not be worse.
There's so much we don't know, and when we don't know, it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, what that means is another matter. This is just like last year with the Alpha variant, this is a terrible time for a variant to come along when it's probably the next 2 weeks are probably some of the highest risk periods with a lot of indoor socialising.
The new rules will apply from Tuesday, but they'll only slow down, not stop, an unwelcome arrival that's already here.